Oh, absolutely not. I'm sure there's somewhere in the back of my mind, but I've managed to suppress all that so much that I don't remember any of it.
Wow. Your life is completely, I know there's like movies and documentaries, it's like right here, everything's here. Can you actually believe some of these things in your life too, or no?
It's wild how everything's unraveled and how everything came to be, but, yeah, if I wouldn't have ended up in the United States, I probably would not have, I guarantee I wouldn't have been an Olympian.
Yeah.
And so I'm so lucky to have such wonderful parents in the United States and have that opportunity to be able to compete in the United States and be able to compete in the Olympics. And then also so fortunate at this moment in my life that I can come back to Korea and meet my biological parents yet again. So that's pretty fascinating.
As you said, this medal, it's not just a medal because you did so fine for the whole life training for this medal, but here's something that was just, that just came.
It just represents something bigger in my life, definitely.
Yeah, that you were supposed to come back to Korea for at least something.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. This is just amazing. And it is really heavy. 정말 무거워요. It's very heavy. So this goes with you pretty much everywhere in your life?
I don't carry it around. If you see me on the street, don't ask to see it because I definitely don't have it with me. But if you do come over to my place, it is in the sock drawer.
This is your ticket into the nightclub.
Exactly. How do you like me now?
Yeah. We'll put it back into your sock here. Thanks for right now. We'll keep it here. But yeah, it's just right now, just talking about this now, because this story was not only a big story. Of course, you're a medalist, Olympic medalist, but this story not only in Korea, but I know in all across America, it was a very big story too.
It was a big story with almost every country that was at the Olympics. Right after I received the medal, I remember watching Italian television, and they were doing a whole story on me and talking about my separation from my family and growing up in the United States. So there was definitely. That story was covered everywhere in the world for the most part.
Yeah. Now, when you're watching this story, what were you thinking and seeing and, feeling?
Oh, like I said, I'm not very sentimental. I just noticed it was on, and then I went to like a bar because I knew they served chicken wings, and I was looking for some American food.
Just watching it,
oh, that's interesting. Let's put one of the events on. I'm tired of watching this.
So since you've met your father again, reconnected with him, do you often talk to him or no, or does he call you, or what happens? This is when exactly?
I met him in 2007, and after I went back to the States, I tried to keep in contact with him, but through email and phone calls was very difficult. Now that I'm here in Korea, I would say I talk to him, or at least do some kind of like Kakao talk with him.
Oh, you do?
Maybe once every couple days.
Oh, really?
So there's, some communication.
Yeah.
He knows I don't speak much of the language, so it's always the same standard questions. Don't get cold. Did you eat? And I love you. So pretty much every time I see a text, I don't even have to read it anymore. I know exactly what he's saying.
Okay. In Korean,
exactly.
Right? Are you learning Korean, by being here in Korea?
I'm not learning that much. A lot of people recognize me, and they go out of their way to speak English to me.
Oh, good.
So it makes it easy, but at the same time, it makes it difficult to learn. I do have a private tutor in Seoul that I work with, and I also, like when I'm traveling around with the team, I bring a study book, and I have flashcards and things like that.
Oh, yeah?
So I practice at least for an hour or so every day.
Good for you.
To try to learn the language and get a grip of it, because I want to be conversational at some point. And the end goal is to coach in Korean.
Yeah.
I want to be able to coach all the athletes in their native language, and also so no other countries can understand what I'm telling my athletes. I have
that's a good one.
I obviously can listen in and understand pretty much every coach that speaks on the World Cup circuit. Most of them speak English, but the French, German, and Italian coaches, I can understand pretty much what they're saying. So I know exactly what they're telling their athletes, but at the same time, I can take some of their information and only give knowledge to my athletes, because I have certain tricks too that I can teach my athletes that I don't want any other country to find out about too.
That is so awesome. Yeah, so you want to pick up your Korean so you can have this secret language, international language with you
that no
and
one
your
else
students.
can figure out. Exactly. And so there's all these little tips that I don't want other countries to pick up on that I learned while I was competing. So of course I'm going to pass it down to my athletes, but it's definitely not open knowledge for everybody else.
So tell me, give me an example. Now that the Olympics are over, give me an example. Like your coach would secretly tell you something.
My coach would
in the
not,
US or no,
would not necessarily tell me something. It's stuff that I picked out myself. So I have a very good understanding of the courses and how athletes should attack certain part of the courses. And so I can tell the athletes a certain technique to get them through a certain situation on the course. Whereas if someone else is listening in, then they get the benefit of that knowledge and can possibly ski the run easier. So that's why I don't want to be able to pass on that kind of information.
Now, I'm curious because, most athletes will watch other athletes who they're, afraid of that's going to be very, competitive and challenging. So they always, kind of look at that athlete and, they're watching them over video and video. Did you do this?
I wouldn't watch other athletes because I was, I don't know how to put it. I guess I was so sure of myself, I guess, that I felt like I had like the best technique. And so I felt like it was a waste of my time to watch other athletes. I just wanted to work on my own technique and focus on myself and make sure I was doing the things that I had set out for myself to do. So yeah, I definitely... but I definitely know what you're talking about. Athletes do go out there and watch others. Yeah. And it's part of a game, It was the game I played when I was competing, I would go to a competition and I would ski one side of the course and compete in the whole other side and try to pull as many skiers into the course I didn't want to ski and just play head games with people like that. And then they have competition, I would switch and no one would want to switch because they wouldn't be comfortable with that switch.
I see.
But while I was skiing this course, I was actually looking at the other course, learning it. But no one else knew that was going on. And then they have competition, I'm in this line. I have a great run, they're stuck over here because they can't change the line. So.
You're very intelligent. Very intelligent. All right, we're going to go to this moment called Catch a Glimpse, and we'll be right back. Wow, what length skis are these?
These are 181 centimeters.
So I feel that you probably always look for skis that go with speed, right? Longer?
Not necessarily. I definitely look for a ski that's functional to what I'm trying to do. So for these are considered half pipe and free ride skis, not actually for the moguls.
Wow. Okay, so let's see. You're going to teach us something, right, here?
I'm going to try.
What are you going to teach us?
I want to teach you guys is how to ski backwards.
Whoa.
I feel like
a lot of people don't even know how to ski forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Skiing backwards.
But skiing backwards, it's what all the new school free ride kids are doing now, and it's what